Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Steve again. Welcome back. Glad to have you on. And I have a new video I want to share with you guys, share my thoughts, and I wanted to start by saying the hits just keep on coming. Now the video is initially about kind of something that's going on in the NFL again. This time it's not Colin Kaepernick though, but it's also a great illustration of what's taking place in our culture again. And so with this, for you guys, you probably remember about a week or so ago, there was a game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns, and a Browns defensive end, Myles Garrett, got in an altercation on the field with the quarterback, Mason Rudolph. Myles Garrett, who is black, got in a fight with Mason Rudolph, the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who is white, and Myles Garrett took the helmet off of Mason Rudolph, so the guy's not wearing a helmet now, and hit him in the head, Mason Rudolph, with his own helmet. And for that, he's been suspended indefinitely for the NFL, and he had his hearing basically to kind of fight the suspension, the indefinite suspension, because they're not supposed to be able to do that in the NFL based on their CBA agreement. And apparently in his hearing, he says the reason why he did what he did, or the reason why he went off the way he did and went crazy the way he did, was because Myles Garrett called him the N-word, or called him a quote-unquote racial slur. I do not believe that. I'm just going to be real with you, and there's several reasons why I don't believe it. We'll get into it this first. While they were on the ground tussling, and you can go watch the video about this, Google it or YouTube, see it on YouTube, the fight between Garrett and Mason. When he ripped the guy's helmet off, one of the Pittsburgh Steelers grabs him to restrain him. Now, Mason Rudolph was wrong. He went after Myles Garrett at that point, and then when he went after him, Myles Garrett swung, overhand swing, hit Mason Rudolph in the top of his head with his helmet. Luckily, he caught him with the soft under part of the helmet, not the top of the crown of the helmet, because he could have done some serious damage if he had. But if that had been the case, as soon as the mics got stuck in their faces after the game, you'd have said, yeah, I hit him. He called me the N-word, or he called me coon, or he called me this, or whatever. That should have come out right after the event, right? That should have come out right off the top. Not a week later, when you're in arbitration trying to reduce your suspension. Oh, he called me a racial slur. Why did it take you a whole week to come out with this information, or just about a whole week to come out with this information? Why? This is coming up 6-7 days later. I'm not trying to hear that. This is the thing that bothers me so much about how soft my race has gotten. Everything becomes, well, they call me the N-word. Look, but yet we tell other people that word has no power. That's why we call each other that. Because that it's okay for us to say it to each other because that word has no power. Well, if it has no power, it shouldn't have led you that if this actually did happen and the word has no power, it should not have led you to crack somebody in the skull because you said they called you that name. If it has no power. This is one of the reasons why I don't like us calling each other the N-word. I don't call people that. I don't want them calling me that. I don't care if you're saying my name. No, I'm not your nigga. I'm not doing that with you. Don't call me that. I'm not going to call you that. It is a derogatory term that was given to us that dates back to slavery. Why would you try and own it? I don't get that. So I have a problem with this whole premise that, first of all, didn't say anything at the press conference after the game was over. Went out and apologized in writing to Myles Garrett, to the Cleveland Browns, to the NFL. Never mentioned, hey, this happened, he said this to me. Because I promise you, if that had been me, that would have been the first thing out of my mouth. Yeah, I hit him. This is exactly what he said. And I'm not having it. Doesn't make it right what he did. He was still wrong to crack somebody in the head with a helmet, but you can understand him flipping out if that word has that much power over his life. It doesn't have that much power over my life personally, but if it has that much power over his life, you can understand him flipping out a little bit. Still deserves to be suspended. Maybe like instead of 6, 7, 8 games, okay, we'll knock it down to 5 games or whatever. He still deserved it. But if that had been the case, something should have been said immediately after the fact, or at the very least say, hey, you know what? There were some things said I didn't appreciate him saying to me. It's going to all come out. Don't worry about it. Something along those lines. Nothing like that ever took place. It's 6 days or 7 days later after you're in arbitration and you're trying to save your job and save, because you're going to lose it. He's going to lose over $1 million by missing these games. It's like he gets paid like $180,000, $200,000 a game. He's going to lose over $1 million, right? So rather than just say, you know what, I was wrong. This is how it went down. I should have, controlled myself better. I should have had better foresight. Whatever. Didn't go that route. Instead, it was, the white man called me a racial slur. The white man called me the N-word or whatever. No. We got to stop acting like, as my boy Jericho Green says, that Fabergé eggs of ethnicity. Can't say nothing to us, can't hurt our feelings, can't tell us that we did something wrong when we're clearly wrong, because we're so soft that, oh my gosh, anytime you get any criticism, it's automatically racism. No, I'm not having that. Bro, look, Myles, you probably got, and I'm not going to put it all on him, maybe he was instructed to say, well, your best bet is to say this happened. But Myles, you gotta have more self-respect than that, bro. You have more self-respect than that. If the N-word drives you that crazy, that's a you problem. That's not a person. Now, the person who would say it also has a problem, but if it'll drive you that crazy, that's a you problem. You're giving that person way more power than they deserve to have over your life. And I listened to a program, I was watching Undisputed with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, who I find to be tedious, to be honest, a lot of the time. But it's not a bad show. I just find them to be tedious, especially when it comes to these issues of social justice. They're both incredibly tedious. And they were talking about how this is a terrible word and the word should just be banned. And I'm like, whoa, okay. What other words should be illegal to say? I just want to know. Because I personally would rather we didn't say it to each other. I would like to hear black people stop saying it to other black folks. Why don't we start there? Let's stop our people from saying it to other people, but make it a voluntary decision to stop doing that. I'm not getting into the whole let's start banning words thing. Because at that point, that's a slippery slope. At what point do you go, what words are okay to say? In a country where we have, freedom of speech, what words are okay to say and not okay to say? I just want to know. I have a problem with that because freedom of speech isn't for words that we agree with. It's also to protect words we disagree with. The speech we disagree with is what the freedom of speech is for. So if we're going to start taking that away from people, where does the slope stop? So I'm not feeling that either. Y'all going to have to miss me with that. I would rather not hear the word personally, but I'm not going to ban you from saying it. Okay? I don't want the government to ban you from saying it. But do know, I'm not going to get crazy and try and crack you in the head with a solid, hard object. If it was said to me, I would probably just look at you like you're the one with the problem. You still living in the 1860s or 1840s, whatever. But you ain't gonna have that kind of power over me. I'm not gonna allow you to have that kind of power over me. So, Myles, if you got advice to use that word or to say that there was a racial slur hurled at you while you're in a scrum with the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, you should have said that the night it happened. You should have told some team members this is what happened. Guess what? From what I've heard, the reports I've heard, none of the team members have said they heard him talk about that at all in the locker room in private either. So this is just a made up, and what bothers me about this the most, and Jason Whitlock, who has a great show on FS1, actually, called Speak for Yourself. Although I do find it a little tedious sometimes. But for the most part, it's a really good show. And part of the reason why it's so great is I like Jason, and I like his thought process. He and I are about that same age, so we think a lot alike from the standpoint of how we feel about social justice and what's going on in our current culture when it comes to our people. He made a great point. Emmett Till, a teenage 14, 15-year-old kid, was killed because of something people said he said. Unjustly and cruelly killed because of something some people said he said. And now we're starting to flip the script on this thing. And now anybody white is even suspected of saying the N-word, we're trying to destroy their lives. We're trying to destroy their lives on social media. We're trying to destroy their lives in the regular media. We're trying to destroy their lives publicly, their ability to earn money. This is a problem. We can't have this. See, as I said before in previous videos, I'm not interested in special treatment. I just want equal treatment. And I think that's what we should be focused on. And right now, it's not looking so equal. It's looking like we want to be special. Because if you say a certain word to us, it'll hurt our feelings and we'll lose our minds and start trying to kill people. Come on now. That's got to stop. We're bigger and better than that. We are stronger than that as a people. So Myles, if you were told to say that, man, and it just didn't happen, which I have a really hard time believing it is, considering it took you 6 days to come back and say, yeah, this happened. Yo, I feel for you, brother. See, that's just another example of less than. I'm not about the less than. You're better than that, Myles. You're better than that. And I know you want to save your job, and I know you want to save your money and save yourself, but you don't do it by trying to destroy somebody else's life. Because even if he did say that, even if he did say it, that does not give you the right to try and kill him with his own helmet. Or at least seriously injure him with his own helmet. Because had you hit him with the crown of the helmet instead of the soft underpart of the helmet, and he ended up in the hospital with massive concussion or cracked skull or brain damage, they ain't gonna care what word you said to him or what word he said to you. They're not gonna care. They're gonna look at the result. And you're the one who's gonna be in major, not just trouble and the possibility of losing your job when you're a first round pick, an incredibly good defensive lineman. Not only do you have a possibility of losing your job, you could lose your livelihood, man. You could go to jail. So you're gonna have to miss me with all this soft stuff. Grow up. It is time for us to stop acting like little kids whose feelings get easily hurt and start acting like adults who can take it. With that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. Please get the word out about this channel. I would really appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your family. I look forward to as many subscriptions as I can get. Just recently crossed 50, so thank you to the 50 who joined. I really appreciate it. Please help me grow the channel. We really appreciate it. Thanks for listening. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Y'all take care.